Okay, in this recording, I would like to discuss a subject mentioned a lot in the Talmud, Mishnah, and all over. That is the idea of Shava Peruta, the value of what we translate penny. We have that when it comes to betroth a woman, we must give her Shava Peruta. Then we have all kinds of coins, zuz. We know that that is 192 perutais. We have, it's called also a dinar. 4 of that is called a sela. Then we have 5 saloim for redeeming your son. We have 200 zuz mentioned as a dowry of a woman, a kesuba. You must pay off that amount as a settlement if you divorce your wife, if she is a basula. You must give her 200 zuz. This is, I will focus on this because this is common and it is interesting to discuss this part. So, how much is this in monetary value? Is it $40, $4,000, $40,000? Today it's arbitrarily, there's people do whatever they want. They decide that the husband should pay that amount of money if he's his fault, if she's fault. Nobody even bothers to calculate the actual value of the 200 zuz. That was the original amount that every single Jew must obligate himself when he marries the woman, that when he divorces her he shall give her that amount for settlement. That is what he owes to her if he dies or if he divorces her. It's at his fault, at his own discretion. So what is this amount equivalent in dollar value? So there's 2 ways how to work in this, and I'll go through both ways, and I'll leave it up to the listeners to decide which way they think is more sensible or accurate. One way is to go about it is to see how much weight of silver is 200 zuz, and then take that number of how many grams of silver is 200 zuz, translate that in the same of monetary value that you need to buy that amount of silver. We'll do it, we'll figure it out. And for the current date is September 2013. So what we figured out is like this: 200 zuz is, according to Rambam, it is only an eighth of the amount of that is silver. It's only 25 actual 100% pure silver. Now 25 times 192, we said that is 192 perutais. But that's not what we want to do, because every peruta is half a barley weight. That's the way that they used to measure weight of a barley. So we'll do like this: 25 times 96, that is 96 barley weights, is 192 perutais. Each dinar has 96 barley weights and 192 perutas, because each 2 perutas is 1 barley weight. So we want to focus on the barley weight. The barley weight of 25 zuz is 25 times 96 is 2400, exactly 2400. 2,400 barley weights, that of silver, pure silver. That's what you must give. Each barley weight we can look up on Wikipedia is equal to roughly 65 milligrams. So we take 65 times 2,400, because we have 2,400 barley weights. We get the number 15,600 milligrams. That's 2,400 barley weights. 15,600 milligrams. That is 15.6 grams. 15.6 grams of silver. How much is it worth? How much money do you need to buy? Very, very, very little. $21. That's the rate now. So all of the silver here is so cheap these days that it's ridiculous. And even if you'd make it that number times 8, because we would assume that 200 zuz means literally 200 zuz of silver, not 25 zuz, as the Rambam, although that 200 zuz means times 8, so it will be, instead of $20, it will be $160. Also ridiculously small number. Ridiculously small number. That should be the amount of a settlement. Generally speaking, if you want to use this way of working around, you're going to get such crazy numbers that a pruta, that is essentially, we said that the pruta is 2 barley weights, so it's 65, it's 130 milligrams, and that is 130 milligrams is 0.00 tenth, actually 0.130 tenth of a gram, a little bit more, a tenth of a gram of silver. It's just nothing. A tenth of a gram of silver. A gram of silver is nothing, and a tenth of a gram is even more, less than nothing. So it makes no sense. You can be 1 gram is $1 at most, and a tenth of a gram is 10 cents. So to make things look more sensible, I think we should use a totally different approach to this whole thing. Fundamentally, the silver in these days is very deep, has no intrinsic value, and is not used as some kind of way of measuring money. It is just have some sort of a value, just like you're trading commodities like oil or gas or anything else. And it depends if people are interested in silver. It fluctuates, it's not very unstable. So silver is a very bad indicator these days on actual real life stuff. It's just obsolete. I would suggest, and if it's true, maybe not, and everybody can decide, that we should use a different indicator, since we have no choice, so to speak, to use silver. So we choose some different way that makes more sense. That is, to see the value of a pruta, what it got you in the olden times, and according to that, set the amount of a pruta. So we see a pruta, you could buy apple or maybe 2 apples. We see in the Mishnah a story, somebody buying a etrog with a half a pruta. I think it's in Maseches Meila. So let's try to imagine, for argument's sake, that a pruta is about 50 cents, a half a dollar. It's a nice amount that you could buy with half a dollar. You could buy already a grapefruit, an apple. I think you go in a store, you can get single objects of fruit for a half a dollar. You can get some potato chip bags, some different kind of snack for 50 cents. You should be able to get some kind of cookie or cake for 50 cents. It is some kind of you can play around with it. You can do something with 50 cents. It's very minimal, but you can do something. So let's assume that a pruta is 50 cents for argument's sake. According to that, to this mahalach, to this way, to this method, we say that we need 100. Dinner is 192. 192 times 200. That is how much prutas you need. Forget about silver. Silver is out of the window. You take prutas, you have 192 prutas. That comprises one dinner. You need 200, so it's 200 times 192. That is 192 times 2 is 4, 18, 3, 8, 4, 38,400 prutas. And we decided that a pruta should be a half a dollar, so that's the dollar amount is $19,200. That's how much 200, so it should be $19,200. And strikingly so, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense, because $20,000, think about it today, is a sizable amount of money. It's not a crazy amount of money, but it's nice. And it is definitely a deterrent. A person shouldn't divorce his wife. He has to pay almost $20,000. $20,000 is a nice amount of money. It's amazingly how perfectly it fits into the nowadays, into the modern estimation of money. It's not too cheap, and it's not crazy amount. And if you tell somebody this number, he'll think twice. I can't divorce my wife. I don't have the extra $20,000. Or the woman is he has to sell certain part of his land. He has some kind of take out a mortgage or something, whatever it is. It's $20,000. It's not. It doesn't just come. You can't just cough it up overnight. At least for middle income people, for hard working people, $20,000. Some people say that it's a half a year amount of work, or it's definitely a nice amount. And it gives her money. She can start. She can find an apartment. She can buy some clothing with it, some food till she finds a new husband. So I think I'm very much convinced that if and again I can't say halacha because maybe I'm just missing something, but I'm quite convinced that this is sense that if a woman gets divorced and she is not at fault, the husband just doesn't like her and he divorces her, and there is no actual amount in Ksuba. Ksuba does not, she doesn't have Ksuba, or she lost it, we don't know, this and that. So what should be the value? How much we should offer? We should tell her that's how much you get. $20,000. And when it comes to Pidyon Habein, redeeming the son, we must give 5 shekalim, 5 saloim. The sela is 4 zuz, so that is 20 zuz, 20 zuz instead of 200 zuz. Very strikingly how these two numbers are related. It's just by a factor of 10. So it's 20 zuz. 20 zuz is a tenth of that amount. So it would be, instead of 2,000, 20,000, it's $2,000 for a Kohen. Now I know this is, nobody does that. Nobody gives $2,000 for a Kohen. It seems already a lot of money. So here's where I get stuck. Can we say that this is actually what they spent for the Kohen? In the ancient times, they spent the value of the monetary buying power that we have today in our modern times of $2,000. Maybe. That's why we find that you give for the Kohen and he returns it to you, because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So I must say that here is where my theory partially fails to comply with modern standards. To assume that this is the amount of Pidyon Habein would be very high sum. 2,000. Maybe if you would wish, we can compromise here and say that the pruta is not 50 cents, it's only 25 cents, and then everything slashes in half, so it's only $10,000, and for the Kohen it's $1,000. Maybe that makes things a little bit easier. $1,000 is also money, but not so much money, so maybe we can use this as a way out. But otherwise, I must admit that it is a difficulty. It's a difficulty. So I would leave it up to everybody to decide how to deal with this. Thank you for listening.